Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Yeah. Okay. 1 2. Sally, can you hear this through the mic? Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Check, 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 check.
That's a walkie-talkie.
It's like a walkie.
Check.
So is it time? Or are you going to... So it is time. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome to B'nai Israel. Welcome to B'nai Israel. I am Linda Goodman. I'm the music director, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all. It's been quite a week. And I am so grateful to be here at Temple with you all, with my congregational family, and the new members of my congregational family are all welcome. We're so glad to see you. As music director, I get to direct some very talented children in Sipurim, which is our children's choir. So I invite them to come up now, and sit right here. A little shy, just a little. But if you're singing with them, they will be less shy, and we will all have a wonderful time. We're going to welcome Shabbat with Shir Hamalot and Shabbat Shalom. You'll find the words on page 140, I think. Anyway, they're pretty simple words, so. Okay, you ready? Bim bam, bim bam. We know those words, right? Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, welcome, and thank you to all our participants. It can happen that those who are new to Jewish worship services or are less familiar can get confused. What's the difference between the blessings and words stating, in essence, God is great now, from those said a half an hour from now? In fact, our prayers have their own system of nuanced meanings, which we come to appreciate over time. For my part, tonight I'll be offering some explanations of some of the prayers and structure of our service. Think about what a luxury is in our time. If you were going to think of what would be a great luxury, it might be fancy clothes or jewelry or the latest technological device. In ancient times, a great luxury was having light after dark. There were no light bulbs, candles, very expensive. In ancient times, light was something that not everyone could afford each night. So our rabbis decreed that more than any other evening on Shabbat, the Sabbath, there should be light to be able to see the faces of those around us. They thought that a special delight. The custom became ideally to kindle 2 candles, as the 10 Commandments, which includes the mitzvah of Shabbat, appear twice in the Torah, one time saying, observe Shabbat, and the other time saying, remember Shabbat. This is the tradition we carry forward as we officially welcome Shabbat together. We turn to page 120 for the blessing for Shabbat. For those who are new, you've met Linda Goodman, our music director, and we call forward for candlelighting this evening Abby Pecklow. Abby is the director of our religious school. Abby is our congregation's educator.
Let's join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you. Lachado Di is a poem that speaks of Shabbat as a bride. Based on the Torah's account of creation, our rabbis taught that each of the other 6 days has a partner. The work of the first day was sustained and completed by the second by the third, so on and so on. But Shabbat was left alone the 7th day, all by itself. That's when God said to Shabbat, I will be your partner. Hence the statement in the Torah, Zachor et Yom HaShabbat L'Kodsho, remember the Sabbath day as holy, means remember it as Kiddushin, remember it as a wedding ceremony. So we continue to welcome Shabbat as a bride. As bride and grooms arrive at their ceremonies in special attire, we too tend to come nicely dressed. As weddings are followed by a special reception, we too have treats after our services. As people stop to watch the bride go down the aisle, we too stop to sing of Shabbat's entrance with the poem Lachado Di, pages 138 and 139. We'll be singing the first, the second, and the 9th verses.
And Matthew Siegel is going to lead us on the verses. But this is one of our favorite tunes. It's a very upbeat tune by Craig Taubman. Lehavdodi, lekrat kala, pene Shabbat, nikabila. Lehavdodi, lekrat kala, pene Shabbat, nikabila.
Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Yishmiyanu elam yuchad, Adonai echad, U'shemo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'litilah.
Lehavdodi, lekrat kala, pene Shabbat, nikabila. Lehavdodi, lekrat kala, pene Shabbat, nikabila.
Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, ki hi mekor habracha, merosh mikerem misucha, sof ma'aseh b'chmashvat tchila.
Lehavdodi, lekrat kala, pene Shabbat, nikabila. Lehavdodi, lekrat kala, pene Shabbat, nikabila.
Boi v'shalom ateret Allah, gam b'simcha u'v'sola, toch emunei am sigula, boi chala, boi chala.
Lehavdodi, lekrat kala, pene Shabbat, nikabila. Lehavdodi, lekrat kala, pene Shabbat, nikabila.
Thank you, Matthew. Should it have slipped his mind for even a millisecond, Matthew will be back in 2 weeks, 2 Shabbatot from now, as a bar mitzvah. We turn to page 146. We rise for the Baruch Hu, for those who are able. Page 146. Everything to this point has been the warm-ups. This prayer now, the Baruch Hu, officially calls our minyan, our prayer service to order. Before the Shema, our major prayer, there are 2 blessings. One speaks of universality, creation. The other, what makes the Jewish people distinct, our relationship with the Torah. After the Shema, the Ve'ahavta prayer and Mi Chamocha offer another insight into the God of the Jewish people. Our God is a force for liberation. Page 146.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
I read on the bottom of page 148, Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv ha'ravim.
And the bottom of page 150, Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Page 152.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kiddush.
Please be seated. The Ve'ahavta will be found on page 154.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha v'hayu hadavarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha Hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam paham v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'levtecha v'derech u'shokbecha uv'kumecha Ukshartam leot aliyadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mizuzot betecha uvisharecha l'man tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kiroshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihyot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Emet. We turn to page 157. We read responsibly the second reading on the page. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we will overcome oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Page 158 for Michamocha.
My helpers here to lead the clapping. You might not know how to do this. They're very expert at it, though. So you help them out. They'll show you when to clap. Here we go. Ready? Yeah, right here. Come here. This is next. Right here. Okay, we got your hands ready? Everybody ready? Please sing with them. Mi chamocha b'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehila osei melech, nora tehila osei melech. Mi chamocha b'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehila osei melech, nora tehila osei melech. Who is like you, O God? Your power is awesome and mighty. The eternal will reign forever, forever and ever. Mi chamocha b'elim
Mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilo osei pelech. Nora tehilo osei pelech. Mi kamocha.
Thank you. Did you want to sing with Mom?
The author of that melody is our own Linda, and I had trouble with the clapping for years until Linda explained to me that Leonard Bernstein was her inspiration. I like to be in America. And so, page 161. We read together at the top of the page in English. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Bochat Adonai, Sukat Shalom Aleinu ve'al Kol Amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. We turn to page 162, Vishamru, our prayer for the Sabbath, our prayer for Shabbat, at the top of the page.
And Amelia Rosen and Emily Siegel will be leading us in the verses. But feel free to sing along with them. And they'd love to have you echo them. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam.
2, 3, 4.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'haaretz.
2, 3, 4.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vayinavash. Shabbat vayinavash.
2, 3, 4.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam. Thank you.
If you want to go sit with your parents now, you can.
We turn to page 164.
If you want to go sit
Our next series of prayers begins as we link ourselves to the founders of Judaism, the patriarchs and matriarchs, whose dramatic lives and stunning insights are described in the Torah. The series of prayers will conclude, as all Jewish worship does, on a hope of peace. I'll say just a bit more about that in a few minutes. Page 164, for those who are able, please rise. We'll be chanting the prayers on the right-hand pages, on the even-numbered pages, beginning page 164, continuing to page 170.
Adonai sifatai tifta uviakita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, El Hagadol, Hagibur v'Hanara, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh Hakol, V'zocher Chasdevot Ve'imahot, Umevi Gula Lifnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo Ve'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, V'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol atah Rav Le'Hoshia, Mechokel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechayei HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umechayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit Umechaye, Umatzmiah Yeshua, V'ne'emanata lehayot ha'kol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei ha'kol.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please be seated. Page 173. We read together at the top of the page. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Bochat Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Our Torah portion this week speaks of Abraham bargaining with God. Upon learning the upcoming fate of Sodom, a city of cruel nativists unwilling to show hospitality to any outsiders, Abraham asks God a number of questions. Is everyone like that? And if not, is it moral to condemn the innocent with the guilty? Abraham then adds, a just God shouldn't do such a thing. He then begins a bargaining session so that the presence of a mere minion, 10 decent people, is enough to save an entire city. A close reading of this story reveals that the entire encounter wasn't about changing results. The wicked place was destroyed, just as God foretold. But there's a lesson for Abraham and Abraham's descendants. Unlike the earlier biblical figure Noah, who had also been told of upcoming calamity of the flood and does not raise a single objection, Abraham is different. Abraham wants to ensure that innocents are spared. Yet Abraham understands that in any project, a critical mass is needed to offset evil. God in turn welcomes the discussion so as to emphasize the importance of believing in justice. And from Abraham's conversation to this very day, Judaism has defined itself as a religious tradition focused on justice, empathy, compassion, and peace. That is why we Jews and our dear ones continue to speak out when others are falsely accused or maligned. We continue to prize fairness as more than naive or a childish wish. Sodom reminds us that cruel and unjust societies don't do well. May we, in each and every minyan, find the inspiration to continually remind ourselves of the real pathway to peace. We sing Shalom Rav, page 178.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki atahu melech hadod lechol hashalom. Shalom, Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov be'enecha livarech et Amecha Yisrael bechol et uvechol shah bishlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam.
Silent prayer, page 180. Each Shabbat we pray for healing. We pray on behalf of dear ones within and dear ones beyond our congregational family. And I invite you to raise your hand after I silently acknowledge you. I invite you to speak the names of persons for whom we should pray this very Shabbat. Page 371.
Please join with me. This is a very, very powerful prayer when we say it together as a community.
If you saw our ads in the paper, or if you see the sign as you're driving up, we call ourselves B'nai Israel of Southbury. Our name has its own history. 22 years ago, when Temple Israel and B'nai Chaim, two different congregations, merged together with the hope of establishing a permanent presence in centrally located Southbury, taking B'nai from one entity and Israel from the other, this name became the hybrid B'nai Israel. But in truth, the name doesn't completely help outsiders identify us. What is B'nai Israel of Southbury? So we're also referred to by a number of other descriptive names. We're called a synagogue, a temple, a congregation. When leaving home, I tell my family I'm headed to shul. The word means synagogue in Yiddish and is derived from the German word for school. So I typically say I'm heading out to shul. As a shul, we have a three-part mission: to be a Beit Tefillah, to be a house of prayer. Jewish prayer is to be an ongoing thing, hence our weekly services and our holidays. Jewish worship is also notable at major events in a person or in a family's life. And so we speak of life cycle events, of namings and bar and bat mitzvah, of weddings, funerals, and the like. Another mission of the shul is to be a Beit Midrash, to be a house of study. From kindergarten through adult education, we prize learning and offer study opportunities. Finally, we are also a Beit Knesset, a house of assembly. Here we gather to socialize, to perform acts of caring, and dedicate ourselves to community and social justice. Our wonderful mitzvah garden that grows produce for area food banks, the Mitzvah Day projects within and beyond our religious school, or our Israel Advocacy Committee that facilitates understanding of the state of Israel, or sisterhood, etc., all fall within this category. Whether you refer to B'nai Israel of Southbury by its name, or as a congregation or synagogue, temple or shul, Beit Tefillah, Beit Midrash, or Beit Knesset, more than anything, I hope you'll call it home, a bayit, a spiritual center. For here, Jewish wisdom, Jewish morals and understandings, and Jewish life are transmitted l'dor v'ador, from one generation to another. Jews are not only faith adherents. Jews are not only believers in a set of beliefs or doctrines, or sort of believers in a set of beliefs or doctrines. Jews are part of a people with its own history and its own culture and its own practices. As a people, Jews live within community. In addition to the shul, there are many other organizations of the Jewish community and institutions that serve our people's needs. There's the Federation, our partners in this building, a philanthropic and social service umbrella agency. There are defense and advocacy organizations such as the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League. There are Zionist organizations like AIPAC or Hadassah. There are other groups like the Jewish Culture Club of Heritage Village. These many important, significant organizations have been created by Jews and their dear ones. But here's the catch. Only the synagogue creates Jews. We do this person by person, child by child, family by family, class by class, and minyan by minyan. Belonging to our shul helps us to create Jews who study and teach, who sing and engage. Belonging here fosters support and being supported, especially for people at critical moments or special times in their lives. While not all of our new members could be here, I will read their names, and I do ask that those who are present, and there are a number present, to kindly rise when I say your name. Charlene and Alan Blatter, Henry and Amanda. The Blatters are from Newtown. Gina and Jesse Fry and Nathan are from Brookfield. Tikva and Doug Rose, Aurora and Orion from Woodbury. Patricia and Alan Schwartz are from Southbury. Marcy Silverman and William Slepoy and Lily are from Cornwall. And Herman Sorsher and Max and Samantha are from Brookfield. We are delighted to have you join us as part of B'nai Israel, and you're seeing Lisa Siegel, our president. We also thank those who have elected to come this evening and check us out further. We value your interest If you're comfortable, we ask you now to rise. That's always hard. Given that one of our tasks is to be a Beit Tefillah, a house of prayer, I'm going to ask our music director, Linda Goodman, to lead us in the prayer that recognizes special moments as we thank God for the distinct one in the life of our synagogue, as our members help to keep us going, as our members help to sustain us, and as our members help us to appreciate time and history. And Linda leads us in the blessing.
Please join me.
V'shehechi
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
We now turn to page 586 for the Aleinu, as we will be beginning our concluding prayers. And I think at this point it's a tradition that, first off, we rise, and that the next person to become a bar mitzvah is called forward to open the ark. So that would be you, Matthew. Page 586, the Aleinu that we chant is the second paragraph down on the page.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'tet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'beyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu chorim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Please be seated. We turn to page 591.
V'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz bayom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
Page 598. We now call to mind our own beloved dead, and I ask that those in mourning or remembering the anniversary of the death of a loved one, and who have trekked to this sanctuary during Shiva or Shloshim or for Yartzeit, should you be able, please rise when their name is mentioned. During Shiva, we remember Nancy Stamelman, wife of Joe, Donald Cohan, father of Rachel Albert, Alvin Krakow, brother of Harriet Blum, and Patrick Troy. During Shloshim, we remember Claire Bodian. This Shabbat, we remember the Yartzeits, the anniversaries of the deaths of Pauline Balmuth, Caroline Bash Gould, Maurice David Berman, Colonel Theodore W. Davis, Clara Eisenberg, Louis Friedman, Marvin Louis Gelb, Sarah Goldfarb, Elizabeth Weinstein Height, Estelle Hirsch, Calvin Light, Arthur Marcus, Judge Yale Matskin, Hyman Reckman, Jason Solomon, Peggy Slattery, Fanny Summit. If there are additional names to mention for Kaddish this Shabbat, Please feel free to rise and say their names now. A practice within our congregation is to further consider these people. If you're comfortable so doing, we now invite you to share with this minion a brief reflection or reference about a dear one on our Kaddish list.
Just a fun little anecdote about Grandpa Hyde. He was a great, jolly guy.
Each Shabbat, we also mention 6 names amongst the 6 million murdered in the Holocaust, the Shoah. We now remember Abram Birdie, Rachel Birdie, David Kvaterman, Hirsch Kvaterman, Ida Kvaterman, and Isai Kvaterman. In remembrance and solidarity, and on behalf of those for whom there is no one but us to say Kaddish, we now invite all present to rise if you're able. Our prayer, page 598. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, B'alma divra chirute v'amlich malchute, B'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mavarach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitvarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei d'kodesha b'richu. La'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam levracha. May their memories be for blessing, and let us say, Amen. Please be seated. On page 626, an old favorite, Ein Keloheinu.
Ein Keloheinu, Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kamoshienu, Mi Eloheinu, Mi Adonenu, Mi Chamalkeinu, Mi Chamoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu.
Lisa?
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
For those who are new, or if you don't know me, I'm Lisa Siegel. I am the happy president of B'nai Israel. It's so nice to see this room filled tonight, and I am just so pleased and happy to welcome all of our new members. So glad that you're here. So let's start. Good news today? Anyone have any good news to share? Share.
Yeah, just got back from the game, Colorado on double overtime. Girls soccer.
Nice, nice. Anyone else? Beth? In 2 weeks, awesome. Marcy? Wow, well, let's bring that to birthdays and anniversaries. Do we have birthdays and anniversaries to share? 21 years, that's fabulous. Mazel tov. How do you say happy anniversary in Hebrew?
Anniversary, I have to think that one.
It's Stump the Rabbi time.
I should know this.
Okay, we'll get it. Any other birthdays or anniversaries? Okay, so let's start with some announcements. Saturday, tomorrow, October 27th at 10 a.m. will be Torah study. On Sunday at 9:30 will be religious school. And as well at 9:30 there will be an introduction to Judaism class led by Rabbi Eric. Tuesday, October 30th, 4:15, religious school. Friday, November 2nd, 7:30 p.m., Erev Shabbat services, and it's also birthday Shabbat. So if you celebrate a November birthday, you should be here so we could wish you happy wishes. If you have a preschool-age child or grandchild, or you know somebody who has a preschool-age child or grandchild, please get in touch with us and learn about our Babies and Bagels and Mazel Tots programs. On November 7th at 11 a.m., there will be a sisterhood book group. They are discussing As Close to Us as Breathing by Elizabeth Polliner. Sandy Slater is going to be leading the discussion. November 14th, repeat the date. November 14th, ladies, it's Mom's Night Out. Join us for a night of shopping and hors d'oeuvres and a glass of wine. It's a wonderful, wonderful evening. Then please save the date for December 7th, which is Sisterhood's annual Hanukkah dinner. In addition, if you shop at any Laban's, please hold on to your receipts and bring them into our office. Laban's will give our congregation a percentage of all receipts collected. And tonight's Oneg is sponsored by our B'nai Israel family. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Please join us in Kiddush, and then Motzi. Kiddush will be found on page 123. 123. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvoto v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereshit ki hu yom tehillah l'mikraye kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim ki banu v'charta v'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. May God God's presence be with you and give you peace. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Sorry, that's a lot of hops.
Oh, huge piece, Harry.